All right, guys. So I've tried Celia, Zakatachichi. I tried ginkgo biloba. I tried pretty much everything. Um, I just tried something that works. Like it actually freaking works. You know what I mean? Like ginkgo biloba. You know, Kalia, Z, Tachichi, whatever. That shit, like, it worked the first night a little bit, but then it stopped working. Um, yeah, so like, I mean, I've tried mugwort. Man, that shit grows everywhere around me. Um, and I've made tea out of it. I smoked it. Man, I've drank that shit every night. I drank like a whole damn bowl of that shit. Put it in tea. Like a whole big bowl of tea. This doesn't work at all. I'm a white guy, European descent, so if maybe that stuff will work for you if you're different race. You know what I mean? But as far as me, I got to give you my specifics so you can kind of judge it based on that. Nothing prejudiced, but just I'm sure that certain things probably affect different people's much differently. But the one thing that I found recently was Solastris paniculatus. I'm gonna pronounce that one more time. It's a Solastris paniculatus. I'll spell it out. It's Celastrus. Now this shit is a seed, and it doesn't taste bitter at all. Unlike pretty much everything else out there. Pretty much everything else out there tastes bitter as hell. Yeah. And one thing, the reason I'm not showing my face is because, like I have a professional job. I don't, God forbid this shit ever got out. I wouldn't want people thinking that I'm crazy because this shit is kind of crazy. I mean, if you're looking to live a fantasy world in your dreams, that's kind of crazy, but, so yeah, that's why. But this stuff is like a seed, and I'll show you a picture of it. That's the shit right there. This cost me about $12, and you only take like a small little scoop in your hand, maybe like 20 seeds at a time. And man, that's pretty good. You know what I mean? Like, it's not gonna make you lucid dream, at least for me, but it definitely makes the dreams more vivid. Instead of having like one vivid dream every night, I'll have three, sometimes like four. Depending on what time I go to bed. If I go to bed earlier and I wake up in that sweet spot of the night where when you wake up, you're really tired and you basically just go take a piss and then you go back to bed. That's like the perfect time for dreaming because you're half awake, half asleep, and then when you go back to sleep, it takes half the time and you're already half asleep, but you're already half awake. So when you do dream, you can actually remember them. But yeah, this is the only stuff that's worked. Like Solastris paniculatus, you can buy it on eBay, Amazon, who the hell knows. I get my shit for like $12. I showed you a picture of the bag. I think it's a good deal. It lasts me. The first one I bought was called, like 2 weeks ago. I think it lasted me like a week, 2 weeks, something like that. A week and a half, 2 weeks. I can't remember, but um, I'm gonna try taking like a whole freaking bag or half a bag one night, but I'm not ready to do that because I need to get like a backup supply so I can keep doing my daily regimen. But yeah, this is the only stuff that's worked. The other stuff, it was like, I see all this shit online about it working and stuff like that. There was a whole bunch of vitamins I saw, choline, bitartrate, like vitamin, I think it was the B vitamins. One thing I did actually have luck with was the peppermint oil and the valerian root. But same thing. I mean, after it worked like the first 1 or 2 nights, but the effects kind of wore off. I know, I really don't know why, and it was such a big bummer because it worked like really good the first night, and then it stopped working as it just got worse and worse, and it wasn't working as good. The more nights I took it, and it was really disappointing because like it's such a bummer when something works, but when you take it every night, it works less. I mean, it's crazy. But with this Celastris paniculatus, yeah, I mean, I have nothing bad to say about it. It really does. It does work. It's not going to give you lucid dreams. I don't know. The only lucid dreams I've ever had were somewhat lucid, barely lucid at all. They mostly involved, naked women and me basically, I guess undressing them, fondling them. And it was very erotic because, they were, I guess, just random women. But the dreams always end, basically as soon as the good stuff starts happening. They never go past, the beginning of the encounter, I guess. I mean, as soon as it starts getting good, the dream ends. And that's been pretty much the way ever. But besides Celastric paniculatus, the one other thing that I would have to say is the only other thing that's ever worked for me for lucid dreaming is alcohol. If you get drunk before you go to bed, as far as in my case, and once again, I'm a white European, Western European, but basically, if you get drunk before you go to bed, I mean, you're gonna have some chirpy ass dreams. I guess part of that is probably because you're very relaxed. And another part of that is because alcohol is a psychoactive drug. So, yeah. But the only other thing that compares to that is Celastris paniculatus. I mean, a couple nights ago, I had a dream. It was two separate dreams of erotic dreams, and they were extremely good. They were not like vivid. I mean, they were vivid, but they weren't exactly lucid. Like I wasn't controlling the dreams, but I felt like a decent amount of arousal from them. I mean, obviously, with the dream, it's only going to last a couple seconds. It feels like it's a little bit longer. The memory obviously feels much longer, but I mean, not so much the memory, but the feeling. You know what I mean? Like you feel like you fell in love. You feel like you had the most wonderful night of your life. But as far as the experience of the dream, it's only a couple seconds, or maybe 10, 20, maybe 30, 40 seconds. But the feeling that you get is as if you fell in love, as if you had this magical experience. But as far as like the actual, I guess, physical part of the dream, yeah, sometimes, most of the time it's really, a couple seconds, maybe 10 seconds. I mean, 20 seconds. It's really not that. It's not like, yeah, most of it is mental. You know what I mean? Like you feel the love, you feel the experience, you feel the connection. That lasts a lot longer and it feels a lot longer. But the actual, like, visual part, physical part, that stuff's only like, maybe 10 seconds, if you're lucky. If you have a good night, 20 seconds. But, even then, when it's 10, 20 seconds, it's not like it's not 100%. You know what I mean? It's like 30%. You know what I mean? It's 30% of your actual, awareness. You know what I mean? It's not that. It's really not. Basically, what I'm trying to say is I've had a terrible experience with lucid dreaming. You'll see people online that say it's, I was in a dream. It felt like I was in the dream for 3 weeks. I mean, if that was true, if that was true, and whatever they took to make that happen, man, that shit would be illegal. If that was true, and they sold that shit on eBay or Amazon or Marketplace or whatever, people would buy it, and you'd be hearing more about it on the internet. So, those guys are lying. But yeah, I mean, like, just as a, I don't know, I guess like as a hobby or just a nightly ritual, Solastris paniculatus, is it's definitely good. It's really the only thing I would recommend besides, picking up a freaking pint of vodka. I mean, but that's not too healthy. And Solastris paniculatus, CP, it's not that, it doesn't get you high, doesn't do anything like that. Supposedly it's a nootropic, so it helps out with your memory and stuff like that. Which that's why you remember the dreams. So yeah, I mean, it's a much healthier option, and that's what I take. I yeah, that's what I take. Yeah, yeah, that's the only thing that's worked. When I was a little bit younger, I tried the African Dream Herb. I tried a couple other things. I've tried most of the vitamins, choline, bitartrate, vitamin B. Yeah, so, I mean, some other stuff I can't remember. I haven't taken it in a while. Stuff didn't work. And it was kind of sketchy taking it because it is processed. And it's not meant for lucid dreaming. So yeah, but yeah, yeah. I mean, there's 4 things I can recommend. Obviously, you drink a little bit of alcohol. You drink like a pint of vodka before you go to bed. You get comfortably numb. 8 drinks or so, and that'll definitely give you some good dreams. Yeah, and then the second one is obviously Solastris paniculatus. That's a really good option. It's not some miracle thing, but I mean, as far as the effectiveness of all this crap goes on the internet, it's probably, it's definitely the only one that's worked for me. The other 2 are valerian root and peppermint oil. I took them both at the same time, so I'm not sure which one worked, but those, that's all I'm saying. I took peppermint oil and valerian root until I ran out of the bottle, which is about a week and a half, and for the most part, I had a positive result. So if I'm sure if you combine those with Celastris paniculatus, it would be good. But I wouldn't recommend combining them with the alcohol because I don't know. I mean, just for some reason, I don't think it's I don't think it's a good combination. Just not because of anything dangerous, but it just doesn't seem to work when you go to bed drunk. It seems like the alcohol kind of I guess cancels out the effects of the Celatris paniculatus. So yeah. But yeah, I mean, if you want some lucid dreaming stuff that I've tried most of the stuff, and most of this stuff didn't work. I mean, if it did work, it worked maybe the first night, but for some reason, it stopped working after the first night. But this Celastris paniculatus, it has proven the test of time, and it has worked past the first night. And every night I take it, it works. And how many seeds do I take? I take probably like 20 seeds, which is like a small, like shake out the bag in your hand, and that's like 20 seeds. So I don't know. I mean, I hope this works for you.